Hey guys, in this video and the next few videos I'd like to cover the subject of jumbo jet shenanigans. Yes, that's right, because it's my contention that just about everything in the game that moves is controlled to one degree or another by the artificial intelligence in the game. And this goes for everything from everything that moves, like the platform on the aircraft carrier, to the pedestrians, to even the big jet airliner that flies through the levels in some of the levels, like in the Airpain 3 level. So I'd like to in this video I'd like to discuss some examples of that, of how the AI controls the jumbo jets and how and when they appear. Now, a lot of people, to the uninitiated, they might think that the jumbo jets, well, they might have a number of misconceptions about them. First of all, they might think that the jet appears at fixed intervals. So like every minute, exactly every minute, or every 2 minutes or whatever, another jumbo jet takes off or comes down the runway. That's not true. It's like, it's sporadic. It doesn't happen at fixed intervals. So the next conclusion might be, well, all right, then it doesn't happen at fixed intervals. Then it's just totally random, it just happens at totally random, like flipping a coin. I want to show in this video that isn't true either, that the jumbo jet's appearance is controlled by the artificial intelligence, that the artificial intelligence will place a jumbo jet on the runway at times that the AI thinks will be a good, entertaining time for the jumbo jet to appear. When it make a result in a good, spectacular stunt or collision. So let's examine some examples of how the jumbo jet appears and when and why in this video. Now, the Airpain 3 level, which is one of the later levels in the game, is a particularly good one because it starts off with all the cars right there on the runway, just as a big jumbo jet is coming up behind them, is taking off behind them on the runway, and it smashes into all the cars before they even have a chance to go anywhere. And it makes sort of some really spectacular stunts here. Now, the first thing I want to deal with is whether the jumbo jet appears at regular fixed intervals, like every minute or so. I want to prove that isn't the case. So here you can see I'm heading towards the runway. I get hit by the jumbo jet. It just went by there. So I'm turning around here, and just that was just a few seconds ago. And just a few seconds later, as I spin around, boom! I get hit by a second time by the jumbo jet. Okay. So I just wanted to establish that the jet does not appear at fixed intervals, like every 1 minute or every 2 minutes or so. It appears whenever the AI wants it to. Now, sometimes the jumbo jet taking off will cause some really funny or spectacular stunts. Like here, the black semi roars right past me, and he gets hit by the jumbo jet and he gets wasted. But if you watch this clip again, what you see is I actually got the credit. The game actually gave me the credit for that wastage, because if you look, right as the black semi goes past me, he brushes against me. So that's considered a hit by the game. It's considered that I hit the semi, or rather than the other way around. So I got the credit because he just got wasted. Now here's a funny stunt where the red semi does like a tennis serve with Mad Morris, and then it gets whacked by the big jumbo jet. It was like a giant tennis serve there. Now, some people may think that the jumbo jet always has to start off at the very beginning of the runway, and I want to show that isn't the case in this clip. So here you can see I'm battling out with some of the opponents here. So I waste that one, and so like I'm just going along, and I pass over the runway. Boom! The jumbo jet hits me and sends me flying way out of the airport, and actually sends me all the way over into the ocean over there. But if you look at this carefully, what you will see is that right here, see where I'm pausing it? I'm starting it right here, and that is where the jumbo jet takes off. It does not take off at the beginning of the runway. It actually takes off in more like the middle of the runway, because that's where the AI thought would be a good place for it to start off for like a spectacular stunt. Now, one thing I found is that if you're clearly battling it out with the other opponents, you can be on the runway all you like. I mean, if you're battling the opponents, you're chasing after an opponent, you're heading toward an opponent, you're clearly, I mean, you're just doing it with abandon, you're not too worried. Usually, the jumbo jet will not smash into you. As long as the AI knows that you're chasing after an opponent or you're battling it out with them, you can be on the middle of the runway, just not even worried about the jet most of the time. I would say like 9 times out of 10, the jet won't even bother you. However, if you show fear or nervousness before you cross the runway, then watch out, because the jumbo jet will hit you every time. Well, not every time, but I would say about half the time. If you show nervousness, like right here where I'm looking, I back up, I'm looking to make sure no jet is coming. That's a big mistake, but boom, a jet comes along and it hits me right there, right as I'm crossing it, right as I'm crossing the runway there. So the last thing you want to do is seem nervous when you're crossing the runway. So let's see that from another angle now. So here you see there's no jet coming, and I'm stopped here. Now look, you can see I'm looking very carefully to make sure that there's no jet coming here. So okay, so no jet, the coast is clear, I decided to cross. Oh, boom! Worst thing you can do is to show nervousness. But sure enough, a jet shows up and it smashes right into me. So just to show you this from another angle, I want to show you, see how the jet is not taking off from the end of the runway, but right there from the middle of the runway, just so it can run into me, because I made the mistake of showing fear before I crossed the runway. So I guess the old adage is true. Never show fear. Never let them see you sweat, especially when it comes to the AI in Carmageddon. Now in my next video, I'm going to show how the AI likes to have fun with some of the wasted cars when they're left on the middle of the runway, and how it will actually use those cars for some really crazy stunts, even when the player isn't even around to see it. I know you're not going to want to miss that. So be sure to check out my next video. See you then.